Thank you for having me here. Thank you all for coming tonight and sharing your Friday afternoon just before your big weekend. So I'm really excited to be here. I've given this topic in several different locations to a lot of lenders and builders and agents, and I always learn something new from every group that I go and speak before. So I know I'll learn something new today from you all as well. And I hope you'll leave here with some tips that you're going to use in your marketing. And I am in your MLS, so I'll be watching you. So I want to see some of those changes implemented. And Peggy helped me get some changes made a few years ago to our MLS to make it more user-friendly for appraisers to find those high-performance homes. So I really appreciate that. With that, we're going to move here to our first slide, where I'm going to tell you that when you leave here, I want you to be the superhero, the home hero for your buyers. We need agents out there that understand the new construction building science and can articulate it in a way that makes your home buyers want the homes, not just need the homes. There needs to be certain words you use when you're advertising your homes that make people say, there must be something different about that home. I want that home, not I need that home, I want it. So that's what I'm hoping for you as we move through today's material. So I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the studies that have been done out there. And that's where I get a lot of my information. I constantly read, and I'm involved in national studies, and I read a lot of other studies done. So what makes a home livable? This was a worldwide survey or poll that was done. So here are some of the prevailing themes that kept coming up. Sunlight or natural light? People like natural light. Well, that's what a green home offers you. People are more happy to have natural light. They see better with natural light. Your utility bill is lower when you have more natural light coming into a home. So those are things that people like. They want fresh air. Fresh air means better indoor air quality. That's what you're selling when you sell a green home. A healthier home, a home with better indoor air quality. People are happier there. People want views. And we can still have views and have green homes. We build our homes to accommodate views and to accommodate the lot that you're building it on. So those are things that people really want. Connection to nature. We see that a lot with huge walls of windows. And you think, well, how can that be energy efficient? Well, that can be very energy efficient based on the quality of windows that you use. And then you have small, well-designed spaces. And I know you were telling me earlier today that you're going to have a new development here of tiny houses. So we have a lot of our millennials that can't afford to buy a home like this, but they can afford a tiny home. So those are things that people do want. Creative spaces. The first green LEED certified home in Puerto Rico was a duplex. It's the only one they have so far that's LEED certified. And it has walls that are movable. So if you want a 2-bedroom home, you have a larger living room. If you want a 3-bedroom wall, you move the walls, you have a smaller living room. So it accommodates that 2 or 3-bedroom need. Security is something else people are concerned about. And I know that we can build homes in any community, and we can put walls around them, but people want to feel secure in their homes. So those are the things from the national poll, along with storage. That's a biggie here in Florida. When you move to Florida from up north, where we have basements, and we have these big attics where we stored all of our stuff, we move to Florida, there's no more basements. So we need storage. But this is a worldwide poll, and we have people moving to Florida from all over the world. So we need to pay attention. What do people want? What resonates with them? And when we talk about natural light, those are things you want to advertise. This is a home with a lot of natural light. Think about what they're asking for, and what does your home offer? Now this came from NAR. It was a Sustainability 2017 report. Some of you may have filled out a poll on this, but it said 71% of the agents that were polled said energy efficiency promotion in a listing was very or somewhat valuable. But remember, use the word energy efficiency, not just efficiency. When I say efficiency, what do I mean? Is it a better floor plan? So think about the words you're using, and would they be understandable to the common person reading your descriptions. And by the way, did you know appraisers read those descriptions that you put in the MLS? And those make a lot of difference into whether we decide it's a good condition, bad condition, or good comp, bad comp. And the first 2 sentences in that description is what's going to catch my eye as an appraiser, and it's what's going to catch the eye of your buyer. So your important words go in those first 2 sentences, not the very end of the description. We'll talk more about that. 56% said clients are somewhat interested in sustainability. And my experience with sustainability is people have a wide variety of ideas of what sustainability means. Some think it means doing without air conditioning. They think it's going back to the cave kind of thing. So I'm very careful about using that word. 80% said solar panels are available in their market, and 42% said they do have a perceived increased value, and Bill's happy to hear that, I'm sure. So these are reports, and if you can download my presentation. We have links here for all those that you might want. Here are some trends. They did energy efficient and smart home designs are nearly neck and neck. People want control of their homes, and they don't want their homes controlling them, and they want their homes to work for them. They don't want to always work for the home. So when you offer your client a green home, a well-built home that's more comfortable, healthier, and it costs them less, you have a happy client. And they're going to refer you more often. Help them make those smart decisions. Energy efficiency, 78% of the influencers think it's very trendy. Energy efficiency is trendy. Smart homes are trendy, and green is trendy. Now, in my world, we try to use the word high performance as opposed to green. Now, I know what green is, but I found out the everyday person doesn't understand green. They think green means taking your own bags to the grocery store. So I use the word high performance because everybody knows what high performance means. So that's the term that I like. The top 3 reasons consumers get involved in energy efficiency, and this came from the Shelton Group, is 59% of the homeowners surveyed said it was to save money. Think of that, save money. How often in your descriptions do you use that word, save money? Think about it. The other one is comfort. That's a big one. And when I'm in front of the builders and at some of these big builder meetings, some of the most productive builders tell me the word that resonates the most with people coming into their model homes is comfort. They understand comfort. So that's another word you'll want to use in your listings. And a healthier home. There's plenty of studies out there. So you can refer your buyers to these studies. Have them read up on the study. So it's not just you. You need to be the resource where they can get the information. You don't always have to have all the information. So this Shelton Group, if you get on her email, because she will send you her reports, they're free. It's the Shelton Group. If you Google the name, you'll find it. She does these Energy Pulse reports, and she's known nationally. She's a national speaker, and she's always trying to stay abreast of what resonates with the buyers in the market. What do they really want? What are they willing to pay for? Now, she doesn't do studies like I do on what will they pay, but she polls them and surveys them on a regular basis. So these brands exceed buyers' expectations. A green-built home should exceed their expectation. A platinum green home, which is what we're seeing here with the LEED certifications here. Passive house, zero energy ready homes, net zero energy homes, and energy efficient homes. These are great brands. They're labels, they're bragging rights for the homeowner. But be careful using those words in your description. How many people really know what it means to have one of those labels? Does a typical buyer understand what it means to have a platinum green home? It's not to say the brand's not a good brand, but you first got to introduce them to what does the brand mean. And it's like once they catch on to what it means, then they're going to share the gospel with everybody they know. So it's up to you to do the education for the buyers. Here's a good idea here, the green home. You see the color green? That's what most people attribute to a green home. That was my first idea of a green home. I will tell you that was what I thought. There's the passive home as well. So what does green really mean? So is it green certified? You've got, I know liability-wise, agents want to be very careful about what they're advertising, the words they use for liability reasons. So do appraisers. I see a lot in the MLSs, and I look at MLSs all around the country. Before I go speak to a group, I'll go into their MLS on the public side, and I'll search for energy efficient homes, and I'll search for green homes. Last week I was in Las Vegas, and I was speaking at the Green Symposium for the Greater Las Vegas Association of Realtors. And before I went there, I did a search on the public side of their MLS. And I started getting hits in my emails from agents saying, I just saw that you're searching our MLS. I'll be glad to help you. So I sent it back out and said, I'm looking for a green home, or I'm looking for an energy efficient home. Silence, complete silence. So they weren't quite sure. You've got a lot of agents out there. You guys are the cream of the crop because you're here, because you care, because you're hearing what I have to say. And you will be able to promote your properties better than the next agent who doesn't take the time to understand that they're building homes differently today. They have advantages, they have benefits. Is it built to a green standard? I see that a lot in the MLS. I saw that in some of the MLSs. That's a liability issue as far as I'm concerned. Who said it was built to a green standard? At least Maribel here has them certified by LEED. They pay the extra money. They go the extra mile to get that certification. It's just not the builder saying it's built this way. You have validation from a certificate that's from a third party. So that's bragging rights as far as I'm concerned. And which one, when they say to a green level, green standard, do you realize there's over 100 certifying organizations out there that certify green? You realize there's one out there that will certify any existing home green. And one of their criteria is it has to be, you have to have plumbing that's not leaking. So they're not all equal. And remember, LEED is the highest standard. They have the highest standard you have to follow. So people that are going for the LEED certification, they've earned their bragging rights. And again, show me the paper trail. The paper trail will be there. If it's truly certified, there should be a paper trail. And that's one of the hardest things for us to get our hands on as appraisers is that paper trail. So I'd encourage you to be sure that if you have a LEED certified home or you have a HERS rating, you have any of those labels, put them as an attachment in the MLS and keep them there after it's sold. What I found in Virginia, I just finished a study in Virginia. It should be published next week, or it'll come out the first week of November. What we found there is as soon as the house went sold, they pulled all the attachments. Well, appraisers are using sales that are year out. So we don't have access to those attachments if you pull them off of there. The other thing I would tell you is if you have a certificate, put it in the photo gallery. It has to be in that photo gallery because when people start looking for a house, they will look for the pictures first. And when you see that JPEG in the photo gallery, they may not understand what a HERS rating is or a LEED Platinum. They may not understand the term, but they know it's something different. So they're going to call to ask you, what makes this home have a HERS rating, or what does that mean, or what is a LEED Platinum building? So that it's going to catch their attention, and it starts the education with the public. And it puts you ahead of the competition as well. Here we all know what green or sustainability is. I'm sure all of you have dealt with it before. It's being environmentally responsible and resource efficient. When we build our homes, we think about it from the life cycle of the building, from the time we build it, before we build it, all the way through the life cycle until it's torn down or blown down in our case. And we should really think about that. Living in a hurricane zone, we've seen times where we've had debris from buildings that's been as 12, 14 feet high on both sides of the street. And what do they do with that debris? Most of it goes to the landfill, and we have to buy more land. And who pays for all that land at the landfill? We all do. Then how are future generations going to have land for food and for more housing if we keep using it for landfill? So you see why it's important to understand green building and to be able to explain it to people that way. The other thing you'll want to remember, I'm trying to keep it simple here, and this is simple, it's what your buyers need, and they'll dig into it if they want to know more. But a house is like your body. And all the parts of that building have to work together in unison with each other in order to have a house that performs for you. If you over-insulate, you're going to have moisture and mildew problems. You're going to have indoor air quality problems. If you oversize the HVAC system, you're going to have problems. So a green building takes advantage of having that building built where all the parts work together. It's just like your body. If your heart is bad, your whole body's bad. Houses are the same way. So that's something to keep in mind. Here's an interesting fact. There's 1.8 million Energy Star homes in the U.S. Can you tell me where they are by address? They are lost. There's no database where you can get an address on 1.8 million homes with brands. So 85,000 plus are zero energy ready or zero energy ready homes. Again, no database where you can find them all by address. Now those two are government brands, and the government, DOE requires them to upload, but they upload by an ID number and not an address, and there's no connection to the address, but they get lost in the system. Do you realize that the MLS is the best database that appraisers have and that people that are doing these reports have as far as trends to find out what is the trend in the market? So if you're not coding your MLS appropriately, nobody finds them. They're lost forever. We're trying to make some changes there, but it's coming slow. There are 2 million green certified homes in the U.S., about 2 million. That's all we can tell you is there are about 2 million. Again, there's no database where we can go and find all those green certified homes. Yes, USGBC has one that you can look at some of their database, you can find some of their homes. Florida Green Building Coalition, you can go online and pull them up by address, but not all of them. So we've lost a lot of our homes. 2,000 passive homes in the U.S., we don't know where they are either. And over 2 million homes have a HERS rating on them. That's the other thing you're going to take away from here. HERS, you can go into the ResNet database. It's open to the public. You can click in an address, pull up that address. If it has a HERS rating, you'll know what the rating is. Get that rating in the MLS. We have a searchable field now, and as an appraiser, I use that searchable field all the time. And never put a 0 in there if it's not a zero energy ready home. I pulled up 400 one time looking for a home that had somewhere between 0 and 40 HERS rating. 400 sales came up. That's when I found out that I started calling agents saying, why did you put a 0 in there for the HERS rating? And the agents would say, well, I didn't have one, so I put 0. 0 means something. 0 means it produces as much energy as it uses. It's a zero energy ready home. So be very careful when you rate these homes. So imagine a photo gallery. Hopefully your photo gallery will have all your labels in it, just like you've got 5 labels here, Marabella. All those certificates should be in your photo gallery. When I looked for a home 9 years ago, that's the first thing I looked at. I did a search first for square footage and for about where I wanted to live, and then I went through it. When those came up, I went through and looked at the photos first. Then the ones that looked good in the photos, I went back and read the blah, blah, blah. So that's how I made my decision, and I think most buyers are the same way. And there's another very wise rule you need to make sure that gets into your MLS if it's not in there now. If you check one of the boxes that shows a home is green or it has a HERS rating, you have to upload the certificate. Right. That should be a rule. Arizona implemented that when they first included their green fields.
We have the same rule.
Do you? Good.
Yeah.
So that stops that greenwashing, because there for a while agents were clicking all those boxes. And I would call and say, well, who certified it? And they would go, well, we just checked the box just so we get more hits on it. Well, that's deceptive and that's not ethical. So not a good thing to do. That's a wise rule. This HERS rating here, again, this is, I've got the note here that you can go to ResNet and find out what the HERS rating is. And remember, the lower the score, the more energy efficient that home should be. And that's something you want to promote. Make sure the HERS rating is in there, and then don't just put a HERS rating of 48 in your description. Say low HERS rating, very energy efficient. And I'll show you an explanation I think that Peggy did in one of hers that was very good. So this is a scale here. Here's something else you'll want to share with your home buyers. When they're thinking about buying this new home versus maybe an older home, talk to them about what the building code has done. The IECC, which is the International Energy Conservation Code, between 2006 and 2015 increased 31% just to meet code. 31%. Now I tell appraisers this all the time, so what does that tell me as an appraiser? Just to meet code, you have to increase your energy efficiency this much. So it tells me I should not be using a house that was built in 2000 to compare to a house that was built in 2015. They are not apples to apples. So again, I'm teaching that to appraisers. You need to bring that information to your buyers in the market. These newer homes are going to be much more energy efficient. Look at the code. Look how it's changed. And think about green homes. They have to exceed this. So they're going to well exceed the 2015 code. So it's something else that you can share with them. We serve families all the time. And families, you want to motivate them to buy the right house, to buy a better house. Talk to them about air quality, about health, about comfort. Ask them questions like, does anyone in your family have asthma? Do they have allergies, sinuses? A green home, they're going to be much more comfortable. It's a healthier home. If they have any of these issues, their health costs are going to be less. So it's something you can talk to them about. There's a lot of studies out there for that. So can you hear me now? Are you hearing the words we're talking about? So I hope you are, because I want to see some change, that words do matter. They matter very much in your MLS. The 10 most powerful words in advertising are you, results, health, guarantee, discover, love, proven, safety, save, and new. Now that's not in-house advertising, that's overall advertising. People like to see these words. This means something to them. So let's think about that. These three words, health, safety, and save, are all words that you can use to describe a green or energy efficient home. That's a better way to describe it than to say this is a green home or a LEED certified home. This is a healthier, safer house that's going to cost you less. You'll save money by buying this house as opposed to XYZ agent's home that's not LEED certified. So a way to advertise. So how do consumers react to the word green? That was another poll that was done by the Shelton Group. And here's what she found. They have a strong association with a better health home. It's a healthier home to live in. So that resonated with all of them, but they also perceived it was very expensive. Well, a green home doesn't have to be that much more expensive. And if you as agents will learn how to show them all 5 houses maybe they're looking at, try to pull the utility bills on all 5 houses and show them utility bills along with their monthly mortgage cost. Which one really costs them more? When you start looking at the utility bill and the mortgage payment, I bet you that green home is going to cost them less per month. And that's the way to advertise that to your home buyers. Give it to them in something that they understand. We've talked about these 2 features here. So the Shelton Group says, well, the tired old messaging about saving has lost its potency if it ever had any to begin with. So let's move on. Based on the Shelton survey, so what are the 3 main things? Save money, comfortable home, and a healthier home. She keeps pushing that. And when you hear her speak, and she's a very dynamic Southern lady and loves to talk about what people want in their homes. So are your MLS listings measuring up? Are you using the words save money, healthier home, more comfortable home? Think about it. So let's look at a few of them. And if yours pops up here and it's not the best one here, if you're really proud of it, you can acknowledge it. If you're not, well, be quiet, no one will know. Here's something from the MLS. It says, welcome home. You will be greeted to a cozy, warm, and open floor plan with an abundance of natural light. Natural light. Got it? Upgraded mahogany tone cabinetry, earth tone granite countertops, and neutral and natural paint tones, plus stainless steel appliances. 1,655 square feet, 3-bedroom, 2-bath with a loft. Low maintenance landscaping. Small subdivision in the central southwest. Low HOA fees. This is the perfect home for the perfect price. Now, so you, remember you was one of the words that people really resonate with in advertising. And the other word here is natural light. They like the natural daylight. And low maintenance. So there's 3 words in there that really resonate, people understand. But let me point out something else. In your MLS, you have fields for the square footage, for the bedrooms and the baths. Why repeat it here? Use this space for important words that they're not going to get in the box that you check. So this will give you more room to give a little more explanation about what it is you're trying to sell them. So this is the idea I got when I read that MLS, that description. I felt like this is an energy efficient home, cozy, maybe feel comfortable. So you see how people get pictures in their minds. When I was in Alaska at the Association of Realtors State Conference, we threw some of theirs up. And I said, what do you think of when you read this description? And it was interesting because their thoughts were the same as mine. Well, like, that's an old house that needs a lot of work. Their descriptions really kind of said that about it. So here's another one. This is a pre-construction to be built. Mirabella is an innovatively designed development nestled in the heart of Northwest Bradenton. It has become one of the area's most sought after communities. It goes on. I'm not going to read all of it, but there's a lot of description there, a lot about the development. But tell me about the house. What is it you're trying to sell me? Are you trying to sell me on the community? Are you trying to sell me on the house? Yes, you got to sell on both. Location's important. But let's take those first few sentences and make them something that will really resonate with the buyer, that they'll understand what is so special about this development. It's the way they build here. You have bragging rights when you live here. Here's another one. Atmosphere fosters close-knit relations that lend a true sense of community. Coming soon to the community garden. There is an active manager. It goes on and on and on. We talk here about leadership in energy environmental design. Well, that's fine, but still, does the typical buyer home? It's just an organization to them. Let's use words that like the following here, which makes this home healthier, less maintenance, more sustainable, and provides a HERS rating of 62 to 64. These homes are 40% more efficient than the typical new home and 70% more efficient than existing homes. This is a great advertisement. Let's move this up to the very beginning. Let's start it out this way. So you've explained it all here, and then leave this other stuff here down at the bottom, because you're going to catch their attention with what you're doing here. And then they'll read about the community down toward the bottom. So it's a matter of just catching their attention. That's great advertising. So with people looking. Again, here we've got another one. I'm not going to read the whole thing here, but a lot of information about the community. Again, a lot of repeat. So just try to keep the repeat out. Talk about the things that really resonate with the buyers. And I see the 55 community in there. I had my little assistant taking pictures for me the other day, and she went to a 55 community. Well, she's only 24. And someone stopped and wanted to know if she was buying in there. So she said, I was really not very happy because they thought I was 55. So we designed Mirabelle to foster close-knit relations to offer a true sense of community. All this with a low monthly fee. It features resort-style living with LEED, Energy Star, and HERS certified. In fact, these are the first LEED certified villas in Florida, earning one of the highest LEED level. Again, we are using name brands, and people resonate. They know what Energy Star means. They can't tell you what the criteria is, but they know it means energy efficiency. But let's get those out of there and put them toward the end. Explain what LEED means for them. It's more comfortable, it's healthier, lower cost, and it has all these brands. So just change it around a little bit. So again, your buyers are looking at that going, I really don't know what LEED means. Most of your lenders, when the appraisal comes through, if we use terms like that, we get a call going, really, what does this mean? And how has it been valued in here? And why should I care? So again, use some words that that will resonate. Here's one. Remember, love is one of the words, the most advertised words. You will love this gated community that offers the safe environment you desire. This home offers lower utility bills, better indoor air quality, healthier home, and sustainable features that exceeds the typical home built to the building code. Now you're giving them a comparison. Do you want a home built to the building code? Do you want the minimum quality home? or do you want a better home, a healthier home? That's what you want to get across. I'm not going to go through this, but these are kind of the same thing. I think this one I wanted to point out has solar. Let's see. Solar in the wording here. The kitchen cabinets. I thought it did. Maybe I'm wrong. Okay. When you talk about solar, tell us what kind of solar. Because there's solar thermal for water heating, there's solar thermal for our pool, and there's solar photovoltaic or PV that produces electricity. And I will tell you that majority of the appraisers in the area would really appreciate you putting the size of the system in the MLS. Otherwise, what I'm seeing happening on appraisals is appraisers are saying all are equal. 1 kilowatt versus 10 kilowatt, they're all equal because the agents are saying it's solar PV. So get the size in there so people understand that what the size is. The other thing is that if it's monitored, you have a monitoring system on it, print out a report that will show, that's pretty easy to do, the homeowner can do it from their computer, and attach that as a document to the MLS. So people can pull that document and see how much energy that system will produce for them. That's a good selling feature. I'm going to click on through, upgrades. This is the one, see it says the highly upgraded single-story home features 2-bedroom, 2-bath, blah, blah, blah. What does upgrade mean? You know you're going to get an appraiser that's going to look at that upgrade, and they're going to have all different ideas of what it means by being upgrade. Are the cabinets upgraded? Are the floors upgraded? HVAC? What's upgraded? See how we leave a lot to the imagination, and therefore a lot of other appraisers and agents are going to have different ideas of what this house offers. These homes are 40% more efficient than typical new home and 70% more efficient than existing homes. Certification HERS ratings are shot upon completion. I have attached a green appraisal addendum to help identify values for green appraisers. Great information in the MLS. And it notifies the appraiser that may be pulling that for a comparable. There's a green addendum in there. Take a look at it. It will give you all the features that that home has. And I think that most of your builders, do you fill out the green addendum here for all the homes?
Filled it out for me.
Yes. So that's excellent. And there's a solar page in there, so if you have solar PV, get the solar installer to fill that out so you have accurate information. So maximize your marketing. When you have a for sale sign in the yard, or if it's under construction and as soon as you get the windows in, put a poster in the windows on new construction that shows a HERS rating or your LEED certification. That way people driving by are going to see it and they're going, what does that mean? They're going to start asking the questions. On your signs, instead of just for sale, why not put a green home, a platinum green home, energy efficient home, a zero energy ready home. Identify it right there on that for sale sign. So that people driving by, they're going to begin to see all these labels. They'll begin to say, that house has a label, that one doesn't have anything, how come? Do you see why it starts the education with the public? In the electrical box, the solar installer should put the size of the system in the electrical box, the HERS rating, your any of the labels, your green ratings, they should be put in the electrical box. If you remember when we went through that little foreclosure period a few years ago, people took everything in the house, kitchen sink, they took the kitchen cabinets, they did not take the electrical box. So if all else fails, you've got the labels in the electrical box. So when the agent, the buyer, the appraiser comes through, they can open the electrical box and see the labels. So that will start them to ask the questions they need to. We found a lender or an agent in Virginia staged her house just like this builder does. All around the house, you can't see what's behind the walls once it's built. But they made posters and placed them all around the house to show what these different things meant to their home, what the benefits of the construction were. So you can stage an existing home that way. This home was built with a LEED certification. This has an energy rating. It saves you so much a month, or at least it's lower cost. Stage the home. Here's an example here of Georgia Power has an energy efficient program for new builders. It's not a green program, it's an energy efficient program. So they put, for all the builders, they put this billboard up on I-75. And when you drive through Atlanta, you'll see this billboard. It says, 3 bedroom, 2 bath, 77 HERS. Now the interesting thing about that was people would drive by there and they started going to model homes and they would ask, what's your HERS rating? They didn't know what a HERS was, but they knew they should ask about it. So when they got, this one builder came into Georgia Power and came up to the receptionist and said, I want to know about that HERS thing because I can't seem to sell one of my homes because I don't have a HERS. So you see, buyers didn't totally understand it, but they knew this one builder had it and the other builder did not. Same thing will happen with your listings. So advertising is important. Here's another one. I saw this in Salt Lake City, Utah. Garbett Homes builds great homes and they're great at staging them to educate public on why their homes are better homes. My power bill is $5. What is yours? These are 2,200 square foot homes. This is a school teacher. She's holding her bill up. This resonates with buyers in the market. People began to ask the questions. And choose your lender carefully. I know we have a lender in the room. Not all lenders are green friendly. So when your borrower, you need to educate your borrower on how to choose a lender. Choose one that has experience with ordering appraisals for green buildings. You need somebody that understands that the construction is different, valuation is different. It's going to take a little longer to get the research done. So you need somebody who understands green buildings. And so having a lender here is a great asset for us today. And remember your code of ethics, your item 11-1, which I think is very, very interesting. Your code of ethics says that the realtor should not get involved in a listing or a sale on a property that you don't have knowledge about unless you partner up with someone else. Because you're not selling the house at its maximum if you don't understand what you're selling. Okay, what's interesting about that is that Article 11, if you go to every appraisal report that you see from a lender and you go to the appraiser certification page, Item 11, the appraiser is attesting that he has or she has knowledge in that property type and the geographical area. Isn't that interesting? And that was a coincidence. I'm sure NAR and the mortgage industry did not partner up on that Article 11. So I want you to be the dream realtor, and I know you will be when you leave here today if you're not already. I know Peggy is already. I know her very well, so she's the dream realtor. So I want to see you do that. Help your client buy a healthier home to avoid being unhappy. Help them be a happier family, living in a better home that they can afford. Help them to live in a place that's comfortable. If you ever lived in a house where you had hot and cold rooms, you just couldn't regulate it, it cost you a lot per month, you're helping them to avoid that. When they have more money to spend because they have less money to spend on repairs and on utility costs, they're going to be really happy with you that you helped them make that right decision. Help your buyer avoid making a negative impact on the environment. Now maybe they're not really into the environment, but if they have children, ask them a few questions that will spark the thought. Do you really want to see your family in the future? Can you imagine your grandchildren or great-grandchildren not having the life that you have? You know, talk to them in areas that will motivate them to be live a more healthier lifestyle, be more responsible. Tell them that a labeled home is bragging rights. That means it has something you can be proud of and you can pass on to the next buyer whenever you get ready to move on. And the other thing we don't think about is energy efficiency is a resource. We think about coal, oil, gas, electricity, those are resources. Energy efficiency is too. The more energy efficient we are, the more resources we're saving. Did you ever think about it that way? So as a real estate community, we've worked in silos for way too long. For a long time, you know, you never got an appraiser in front of you because most of us would wear a bulletproof vest anyway. And you all never came before us. And now, you know, and lenders, we got a lender in the room, we have solar people in the room, we have builders in the room. We all need to be in the same area, talking to each other, communicating with each other, understanding what each of us needs. That will make everything work better for everyone. The data flow is extremely important. Remember I said the MLS is the best data source an appraiser has. The very best. So we rely on you, and the more accurate your data is, the more accurate your comparables and your appraised value should be. So there is a a concerted effort nationally. There's 3 projects going on right now where we're trying to build something like a house fax, where when a house is built or updated or retrofit, that information is fed into a central database that can automatically auto-populate your MLS. Wouldn't that be cool? And ResNet, who does the HERS ratings, they're right now in talking with some of the MLSs about auto-populating the HERS score. So it comes in from a source. It comes in accurately. So that's going to be a really great advantage for all of us. So steps forward for all of you, think about the green addendum. If you have a green home or a home that's an older home, it's been retrofit, has a lot of green features, fill out a green addendum on it. Don't call it certified, but find out what the features are and include those. And attach it to the MLS and keep it there. The HERS ratings are very important, and when someone says their home is an energy efficient home, a new builder, but he doesn't get a HERS rating, they're really saying, trust me? Do you really want to trust them as an energy efficient home without that rating? So the HERS rating is an important thing. Populate the green fields in the MLS. Be sure that you populate as many as you can. Enforce rules for uploading those certificates. And auto-population, be aggressive, think about it. If it comes to your MLS board, be for it, because that will lessen your liability, it will increase the accuracy, and you'll end up increasing the accuracy of the appraisals. So documentation is extremely important. And your buyers then are going to believe it's not just a trust me, you've got the documents to prove it, so upload those. Fannie Mae says, this is from Fannie Mae guidelines, and it's interesting, it's been around for a long time. Here's how they define an energy efficient home. It's an energy efficient property is one that uses resource efficient design, materials, building systems, and site orientation to conserve non-renewable fuels. What does that really sound like they're describing? That's more like a greenhouse as opposed to just simply an energy efficient home, isn't it? That's been in the guideline for years, and yet you're going to have appraisers tell you Fannie won't let them do it. Not true. It's in their guidelines. Been there for years. So you have a reference right here. This one's from 2014. I've been appraising for over 30 years, so it's been around for a long time. And it says special energy efficient savings must be recognized in the appraisal process. They have to be recognized. And it also says they must be noted on the appraisal form. Now the appraiser who appraises the property has to have support for coming up with their numbers. If they say it's worth 0, the green features are 0, they are required to show as much proof for 0 as they are for $20,000. So that's something that lenders and their underwriters need to be aware of and looking for. So the AI Green Addendum is free. You can download it at this web link, and we just updated it. The good news about it, it's 820.04 is the new one. It's MESMO compliant, which means when we upload it to the portal for the Fannie and Freddie, they can extract energy data off of it and green features off of it. Where they can't, there's nothing on the 1004 for that. The other thing that we did is we made it RESIO compliant. So if this house fax or a big database ever gets started, the information on the green addendum will be RESIO compliant, and they can pull it into that database and auto-populate the MLS. So we thought ahead on this and tried to get it where it would be useful in the future. The AI Green Addendum, remember, is your notice to lenders. Use it. Have your borrower give it to the loan officer. It lets them know and lets the AMC know we have a special property here. It's going to take an appraiser who has knowledge of that property type. So that's like a communication for that lender. It's notice to the appraiser. Quite often an appraiser will have no clue they're appraising a green home until they get to the site. And then somebody's going to say this is green. Well, by then it's too late. The appraiser should back out. But if the appraiser doesn't back out, you're probably going to get an appraisal that doesn't identify the green features. It also supplements the 1004. Now, Fannie and Freddie tell me that they are in the midst, they're going to be changing the 1004, the appraisal form, that's the 1004. They're going to be changing it, but change takes a long time, so I don't know when that will happen. But right now, to meet appraisal standards of what we call USPAP, appraisers have to identify all these features. So the green addendum flows right into the appraisal process, and the appraiser can use it to complement that. So it also provides the appraiser with an inspection key sheet. The appraiser can use it for that. You can use it in your listing. When you go to a home and start looking at it and talking to the homeowners, ask them questions, and maybe there's things on there you can fill out the green addendum with. It will help you. It helps the appraiser to identify true comparable sales. It's a brag sheet. So use the green addendum, and here's a ready-made solution. This is the, let me see if there we go. Appraised value and energy efficiency. Some of you may not be aware of this. It's a folder that NAR has on their website. It's on the NAR Green website. And I'll show you on a different page here, but NAR, the Appraisal Institute, BCAP, which is a Building Code Assistance Program, all got together. I helped BCAP format this originally. They took it to the other areas and they tweaked it. So this one's for NAR agents. So this tells you what to expect on a green or an energy efficient appraisal, how to prepare for it, what to expect for the lenders, how to prepare your buyers, and it gives you a sample list of documents, and you'll see NAR Green is on here. You can download it free from their website. What can the agents do in the process? It tells you what your rights are. It gives you links to all the secondary mortgage market requirements. It also gives you what are the obligations of the real estate professional. So NAR is written in here, what are you supposed to do for your buyers in a green home? So it gives knowledge to the buyers as well. And it talks to the buyers here then, how do you ensure that you're going to end up getting a qualified appraisal when you go to your lender? So it tells them some things that they need to do and be sure to do. So you need to get this brochure in the hands of your buyers as well. And it tells you here what you need to know regarding the loan process. So some people, especially your new agents and buyers, aren't really familiar with the loan process. So this gives them a little rundown on it. And there's a letter, I don't have a copy of the letter here, but there's a letter, a sample letter with wording that you need to put on your letterhead with your name as a contact. And in there you're going to put what kind of house it has, what are the special features. Is it a home with solar? Is it a green home or energy efficient home or a home that's been retrofit with a lot of upgrades? So you're going to tell them that in that letter, and the letter says, hey Mr. and Mrs. Lender, I know you're required to hire a competent appraiser. So it puts the lender on notice. We know what the rules are now. So that's a very helpful letter for you. Appraisal Institute has a list of appraisers that they can choose from, and that letter will give them a link to this website. If their database, if their appraiser panel doesn't have somebody that's qualified, the lender can easily encourage their appraiser panels to take the education. It's online. There's no excuse that it's not here. It's online. There's ways that they can become educated by sitting in their living room. So this is one place to look. You can go in there, click on your state, and find out who has been on the Green Registry there. So session takeaways. You're all going to leave here being the dream realtors, right? If you weren't when you came in the door, you will be when you leave. Energy efficient language is going to change in your listings, right? You know the three key words. Words matter, so appeal to the emotions of your buyer. You know what buyers want. You know they want something great for their family. Buyers want a healthy, comfortable home. They want a home that will save them money. So think about it from that perspective. Document, document, document. So with that, I'm hoping you'll take those key things away from the session today. And with that, I'll leave questions. And I have a Twitter account. Follow me on Twitter. I don't tweet about anything other than real estate matters, so you won't be blogged with a lot of stuff. Also, my email there. Be willing to answer any questions you have.